Little buddy and I are getting things ready on our homestead for us to be able to leave. That's right, we are leaving the homestead for a couple days as a family. So Ashley is coming with us, of course. And that means we need to get things ready here for our good friend David, who's going to be our caretaker in our absence. As a family, we have not left our homestead for more than a day, so this is exciting and a little bit nervous for me. But our friend David is quite capable of maintaining the homestead, especially for only a couple days. But I still need to make things as easy as possible for him, so there's a minimal amount of inconvenience to his life. So what are we doing and where are we going? Well, I'm not saying just yet. It's going to be a pretty cool announcement when we make it. It's not a vacation. This is not a leisure trip. This is a homestead related trip. And let's just say when we come back to the homestead, we'll have more with us than what we left with. Of course, we're really excited about it, but I think you guys are gonna like it too. And I may have slipped a hint out to those that follow our Instagram account. So if you're curious, head on over to Instagram and click follow and you might be able to see what I'm talking about. So one thing I decided to do to make this homestead sitting endeavor easier for our caretaker is to get this giant chicken feeder. This is a king feeder made by Premier One Supplies. Do you remember that old movie, Spaceballs?
Colonel Sanders, may I speak with you, please?
Yes, sir. How can there be a cassette of Spaceballs the movie? We're still in the middle of making it.
And come to think of it, you know who else that reminds me of? What do you think, little buddy?
I think it's a nice farm hat.
It's a nice farm hat?
Yeah, and we were gonna wear away in the summer.
How much can you see?
Nothing, but just a little light.
Alright, so we have our king chicken feeder. This is supposed to hold 50 pounds of chicken feed. That means I can take an entire bag of chicken feed and dump it in there and not have to feed the chickens for days. This is going to make it a lot easier for David to come in here. He's not going to have to feed the chickens at all. He's just going to have to look over, make sure there's grain in the feeder, water in their water tanks, grab some eggs, good to go. And this helmet here is the rain guard, so keeps the rain out of it if you want to set it outdoors. Homestead success. One of the biggest variables in this process of bringing in a caretaker, especially with our homestead having a livestock guardian dog, is how is the dog going to react with a caretaker here and not us. So David just arrived here, and he's gonna approach the corral where the lambs are, where Blue is currently residing, just to see how he's gonna react to David. Now Blue does know David, he's been here a number of times, but he's never been in with Blue by himself, so to speak. I guess there's a liability aspect here. We don't want our caretaker getting bit. So we just want to take the necessary precautions and just see how he's going to react.
Good boy, come here.
So the important thing is he didn't show any signs of aggression. He's not barking, he's not growling or showing his teeth at you, so that's good. How do you feel about going in there?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, you want to try?
Sure.
All right.
You can just like walk up in there or something?
Yeah. And I'll just stay on the outside.
At all?
Yeah, you can. He probably won't let you get too close. But the important thing is...
I'll just ease my way over.
Yeah. Good boy, Blue. Good boy.
Good boy, come on.
It's okay, boy. Everything went just fine with Blue and David. No issues there. Blue just kind of kept his distance, but I don't think he's going to perceive David as a threat, which is really good. I went over the different feeding procedures for all the livestock. David's clear on that now, which is really good. Of course, for the chickens, there's not much for him to do. Just make sure that there's grain in the feeder, make sure there's some water in there. For the sheep, I would have liked to have done something similar for feeding as I did with the chickens. And that would be preloading a really big hay feeder with all the hay they would need in my absence. That could have been accomplished by just stacking up some hay bales just inside those cattle panels, and the sheep could just feed through the cattle panels, get all the hay they need that way. But this is our dog's feeding station, and I didn't want to take that from him. And there really isn't enough real estate left in this area to build a separate thing for the sheep like that. When we're in winter mode, even though it's spring now, we're still kind of in winter mode where we don't have animals out on pasture. I'm feeding the sheep hay twice a day. David's only going to come once a day, but he's going to give them an entire bale in the morning, which should last them all day. As for our dog Blue, I have not successfully trained him yet in using the free choice dog feeder on that back wall there. He is using the jump gate, however, so what I've been doing is bringing him his bowl of food, reaching in and putting it on the inside of the station. Blue jumps in and eats, and then when he's ready he can come out, and the sheep can't get to his food. So David's going to do the same thing and just put Blue's bowl in there, and Blue will go in there and eat, and David will refill it the next day. Are you gonna miss me, Maggie? Are you gonna miss me? No? Okay. For our pregnant ewes, David's gonna do the same thing as the lambs. He's gonna bring them an entire bale in the morning, and that should take them through the day. And he's also gonna give them their alfalfa pellets in the morning as well. Normally I like to space out their feeding more, but again, we're just doing the best we can with what we got. The piggies will just get double their ration in the morning as well of their grain feed. The night before we leave, I'm going to top off all the waters, so everyone should be fine on water for a couple days. David may have to refill it on the last day, but again, it's all about making it as easy as possible for the caregiver. And we're at the tail end of what I feel is a good window to be able to leave the homestead for a couple days. We're still in winter mode, so we're not doing paddock shift rotational grazing with the animals. We're not moving electric fencing, all the extra stuff that has to be done when the animals are out on pasture. They're all in stationary places, stationary feeders, stationary waters. The daily maintenance is at its absolute minimal at this phase. Plus, we are less than 3 weeks away from lambing. If we waited any longer, then we'd be getting lambs on the homestead, and that really is not a good time to be leaving the homestead. This is going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to taking this trip, even though I have some nervousness about leaving the homestead in someone else's care, though I have full confidence in David. Stay tuned to our channel because really soon you're going to see a video about our adventure, where we're going, and who's coming back with us.